The first thing that you need to know about a synovial joint is that the bone is the most important part of the joint. Without the bone, there would be no stabilization and there would be no connection. On the bone is the periosteum and the articular cartilage. The periosteum is the outer layer of the bone and helps protect the shaft. And then on the ends of it is the articular cartilage. This is hyaline cartilage that helps provide smooth movement inside the joint. The structure that separates synovial joints from other types of joints is the joint cavity. And inside the joint cavity is the synovial membrane and the synovial fluid. Both of these help provide stabilization and smooth, easy movement inside of a joint. Most synovial joints can be classified as a diarthrosis joint, also known as a freely movable joint. Now there are 5 different types of these diarthrosis joints, and the first one that you need to know is called a hinge joint. This is found in the elbow and helps with extension and flexion. The second type of synovial joint that you need to know is called a gliding joint. This is found between the scaphoid and trapezoid bone of your carpals in your hand. And this allows for movement across many different angles and many different directions. This type of synovial joint is called a pivot joint. This allows for you to turn side to side or move your hand in 2 different directions. So this is found in the axis and the atlas of your cervical spine and is found between the radius and your ulna of your arm. So you can move your arm from side to side or you can look from left to right. This synovial joint is the 4th one that you need to know. It is called a condylar or a condyloid joint, and this is found in the metacarpals of your hand. This allows for slight movement across 2 axes. This type of joint is a saddle joint. If you look at the picture, you can tell that it kind of resembles the way a human would ride a saddle on a horse. This is found between the trapezium and the metacarpal of your thumb. So this allows for your thumb to move back and forth and forward and backward and across many different axes. And finally, this is the ball and socket joint. This joint has the greatest range of motion out of all of the other joints. You can find this joint in your shoulder. And there are 3 levers. Now, this is the first class lever. This is when the fulcrum is in between the load and the applied force. This is found in your neck when tilting your head back and forth. This is a second class lever. This is when the fulcrum is on one end, the load is in the middle, and the applied force is on the other. This is found when opening and closing your jaw. This is a third class lever. This is when the fulcrum is on one end, the applied force is in the middle, and the load is on the other end. An example of this would be in the arm. The fulcrum is the elbow, the applied force is the muscles contracting in the forearm, and the load is whatever weight is in your hand. This is also a good example for origin and insertion. Origin is where the muscle attaches to the non-movable bone, while insertion attaches to the movable bone. So when you contract your arm and use your third class lever, your insertion moves towards the origin.